Welcome to Lindemann Outdoors with your hosts, Buckshot, the Iceman, Lindemann. Although lately I haven't been feeling like the Iceman.
You've been on ice.
I've been on ice. I'm cold as ice.
Yep.
I'm paying the price for being too picky early. And then also
It's true.
I'm also bit by the bad decision bug.
Yeah, that's just deer hunting. We've
It's,
experienced that a million times in our life where it's like, okay, I'm gonna go sit over here. The wind's good, everything should be good, and then they come out the exact opposite spot you thought they would.
Yep. And luckily I have cell cams. Talk about, like if everyone wants a great subscription item that you can pay monthly to have a device that will just kick you right in the nuts. Trail cams are the best for that.
Yep. It's always the stand you're not sitting in. All of a sudden has your target buck sitting there licking his balls.
Yeah, it's happened to me. It happened to me 2 times this week alone. The worst part was
This falls like 10 times.
oh god, it's terrible. I was in the stand in the morning, sat there till 10 or 11, and I thought, well, we're probably not going to see anything here now that I've been here because it's kind of a small woodlot and my entrance is not great. And I don't know, deer just pick me out every time I'm there. It's just, the deer have made a new trail through there and they just like to walk right by my damn stand. Matter of fact, I had deer at 0 yards on my stand that were, they're using it to itch their back and, the ladder stand, and they were rubbing their head on it and eating all the grass around it. And then all the brush that I cut and put on there, they're eating all those leaves off, which, is just bad luck. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to see anything. I leave 4 o'clock. I go to a different spot, 4 o'clock, boom, buck standing there right in front of my stand.
Yep.
Yesterday I decided not to hunt because I had to go to work for some stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to work the rest of the day because I needed to get caught up on some things. Went out and I had some work to do at home. I thought, well, I'll get this work done. Sure as shit, great big buck on my trail camera shows up, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yep. It's kind of how it goes.
I mean, yeah. I'll show you this monster next. But so in this buck, he's not huge, but for the state that he's in, I've strategically placed myself that I'm an hour away from, within an hour, I can dang near be, I can be in 3 states within an hour. Easy. I can be in North Dakota, Minnesota, or South Dakota. So I'm hunting 3 states. I'm hunting a big triangle that's like, an hour apart each way. So, which, 60 miles to drive to your deer stand is kind of far, but at the same time, this is a permission farm I have. It's a good buddy of mine, lets me hunt there. It's the only spot I have to hunt in Minnesota that's, there's public land, of course, but, anytime you can get private land, that I have the sole bow hunting permission for this piece. So,
That is nice.
that is nice. It is me.
But sadly, rifle season is approaching.
That is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, let's hold on here. We're recapping the week here. So, like I was saying, I left to go to a different stand. This buck steps out.
He's tall.
He's tall. He's not, yes, he's only probably a 3-year-old. But for this property and the state that this deer is in,
and the location of the state.
Yeah, it's Minnesota. That deer is going to be dead tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's not walking by anybody. It's the brown, it's downtown.
Oh my gosh. The Orange Army is out. We like to call it, loophole and vortex time. As soon as people can see, it's World War III out there. We used to be sitting in our stands and we'd look at our watch. We go 3, 2, 1. All of a sudden here.
Oh, sometimes, and then every once in a while you get that really early shot where you're like, must have been 20 yards from the stand in the moonlight. That's called Skyme time.
Skyme time.
Our visitors up north, or our listeners.
Also, if there's a fresh coat of snow on your ground, time gets a little earlier.
Yeah. So then, this morning is the North Dakota. At noon, North Dakota opens for rifle hunting. We got some stands up there. I got a picture from my North Dakota camera. Oh, great. I just got another picture. Lovely. And I'd yet to see this deer, but this deer is just an absolute giant showed up on camera.
Oh, yeah. That one's just
6x6. Just look at all the tines, dude.
Yeah. Looks
Huge.
like a rake.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah, I've never seen this deer. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that side. Yeah, 6. It could be a 6x5.
Yeah.
Just an absolute giant of a deer.
This time of year, people probably like, yeah, old buckshot. Jake, he's probably regretting shooting that doe. You'd be wrong.
You'd be wrong. I regret nothing.
I was like, I'm going to experiment. Because with deer roast, there's not like, I want to experiment with it. I don't want to just make a roast every time. So what I did is I cubed it up and I made a stew with beef broth and carrots and celery and potatoes and some gnocchi. It's getting fancy, and I threw some seasonings in there, some
Somewhat.
Worcestershire sauce. It was delicious. I like put a little, I sliced all the roast up and I seared them in a pan.
Mm-hmm.
And I threw them in the stew, and it was good.
Pretty fancy.
Yeah, like a beef stew, but a venison stew. I was pretty proud of myself. Even my kids liked it.
Awesome.
Old B-Dog had 2 bowls.
Jeez. Hard to beat a good venison stew on a cold day.
It was a cold day. It was nice.
Yeah.
We really should talk about the effects of rifle hunting on deer, because
we'll get there, Jacob. You just
We'll
got
get
to
there.
slow down. Slow your roll, homie.
Sorry, I'm hyped up.
Jacked
up a Mountain Dew.
What have you been drinking?
I'll come at you like a spider monkey.
How much you want for that? You mean first, you're last. Anyway, that's a full-grown cougar in that car.
You got a kilo Colombian Bam Bam duct taped underneath your car, and the cops are coming. What are you gonna do?
That's right. You gotta embrace the fear. So back to the fear. So anyway, I've been trying to bouncing around hunting. It's kind of, I've got a bunch of new spots that I'm hunting. Moved to a new state, so part of it's learning experience. As I'm checking out these areas and getting trees prepped and
seeing how deer move through them, and
how deer move, getting ground blinds prepped, moving cameras, moving stuff. Needing the right wind, needing the right everything. I could have shot some smaller deer, which I'm kind of maybe regretting right now. Just only because I want deer meat. So, but I still have time. There's still time. I think this week coming up is going to be huge.
the rut is on.
The rut's on. The deer,
Which is great for all your rifle hunters out there, because it's going to be peak rut this next 2 weeks.
Yeah, just slow down. We're going to get to the rifle hunt, Jacob.
Sorry.
Oh, just jacked up today. What are you drinking?
This is a Celsius orange creamsicle.
I just got
300 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah, that's what you need.
0 sugar though. So
I just got a picture of a buck here a little bit ago. It was raining this morning, so I didn't go out hunting. I had some work to do. Just had this buck come through on camera.
Yeah.
He's cruising.
He'll be dead tonight.
Well, he's in South Dakota, so
then he'll live another week.
I need to get into there. I found this spot and I put up a trail camera. I found just a huge. There's this big tree that's way back in the middle of this section, and it's like a little island of willows and trees, and there must be 4 to 5 rubs and ground scrapes. I mean, it's just tore up. Ground scrapes like crazy. I put a camera up the first night. I had 5 different bucks on camera.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
crazy. I don't think they underestimate the power of a scrape.
Well, it's good for a while. There's another buck on there.
He looks gnarly.
He's tall. Got tall twos. It's another buck. It's the same one. Trying to find them all. There's a bunch of different ones. But yeah, it was just this one after another. Big short tine, 5x5.
Oh yeah.
He was there. Come on. Look at it. I mean, just insane. There's another one. So this is the main hub for this section. So every buck comes by here at night. Finally had one during the day today. It's another buck. Look how wide this one is. Can you see?
Oh wow, he's really wide.
Yeah.
Just go straight out.
Trying to get the glare just straight. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see right there. Good.
There's one where he's looking at me, but bunch of tines, bunch of bucks. There's another buck up in there. So obviously it's where I need to be. This is where I wish you were a little closer to me, because I need some help hanging trees and getting them ready and cutting shooting lanes and all that good stuff.
People underestimate that too. As part of bow hunting, rifle hunting, you can go sit on a bucket.
You just want to get going on the rifle hunting, don't you? All right, fine. Here's what I have for you today, Jacob. Mostly because you're going rifle hunting and I'm not. Well,
That's true.
I'll be going at the end of November here when our season starts on the 22nd. But, okay, I want to break down the keys to be successful for a rifle season opener.
Shoot a 30-06. Anything else? You're a poser. You don't know what you're doing. A 30-06 is the way to go. Sorry,
I almost bought a 30-06 the other day, but I had to talk
30-06. We've had a whole episode on this. One of our best podcasts, most viewed episodes. The 30-06 is the best hunting rifle to ever exist.
I found a Browning bar, which is a Browning automatic, semi-automatic rifle, deer hunting rifle. Very accurate in 30-06. I almost bought it, but it was like $2,000. I was like,
No, when it comes to rifle hunting,
I don't really need that.
it depends where you're at. If you're out in the Dakotas where it's wide open, you need to get somewhere high, but don't skyline yourself so you can see a long range and get a good scope and a good rifle where you can shoot, and you need to get somewhere where the does are moving.
Okay, so you started out good there. So we're going to talk about, depending upon where you're at and the type of, because not all rifle hunting's the same. So let's talk northern Minnesota.
In the bush.
We'll start in northern Minnesota. We'll continue. We'll have that do. We'll just do most of Minnesota.
Yeah, it's mostly trees.
Mostly trees, and even down in the farm country now, they're all hunting out of box blinds, and there's people still do deer drives, but not as often.
They're not as popular as they once were.
No, and every time you did a deer drive, I was talking to my buddy Steve Powers the other day. Shout out to Steve. He listens to us all the time.
Yep.
You never felt quite safe when doing it. You're like, I feel like this is a bad idea. Like, there's people walking with guns toward me, trying to chase deer that I have to shoot when the deer come by me, and then try to not shoot the people driving.
Yeah, it's a very sketchy thing. And
and it has to be, if done right, it can be safe and you can set up and all that. But if
you're going to do a drive, the way we've done it in the past, we've done them before, is where you shoot this way and you have the people drive the deer perpendicular to you, not
right. You don't want to back at the drivers.
You set up so you're shooting.
We did those muzzleloader hunting when we went out with Dewey. Shout out Dewey.
Yeah.
Kucheski.
That's when I was real little, and you set me on a log, and you said, "Okay, I'll be back in an hour."
Yeah.
I said, "Shoot anything that gets close enough."
Yeah. But anyway, we used our climber stands, and we climbed up, and we had some people push some river bottom woods to us, and then as the deer would come by way ahead of them, we sniped a few that way. That was fun. But so you have your deer drives, which if you do them safely, like Jacob said, you got to make sure that you got where everyone's at. Everyone's wearing lots of orange, and you're
lots of orange
with your drivers, and you're not shooting at your posters, and you just set up and you push that stuff accordingly. The best way to do it, I think, is just have people you just kind of walk real slow, kind of back and forth, so the deer aren't too spooked, and they just kind of naturally try to sneak out of there.
Yeah,
and someone's able to get a shot at them.
Because then they come out of the woods nice and slow.
Mm-hmm.
They're not sprinting.
Yep. But then people learned so we'll go back to like tree stand hunting. There's a lot of people still that hike into the swamp, screw in their steps or put up a strap on steps, and they climb up in a tree and they sit in their tree stand, or they drag a ladder stand in there. The key to that is you have to sit there as long as you can.
All day.
All day.
Dark to dark.
Dark to dark.
Bring your snacks. Bring a book. Download a movie on your phone.
Yep.
Put one headphone in.
Yep. We've done all these things. You got to make sure you dress warm enough. Some might need those hot hands, little pockets.
It's better to overdress.
Yep.
Always take clothes off. You can never put more on.
Yep. Strap a bunch of, your big coat and your bibs to in your parka, as you're walking in. Strap that stuff on your backpack. You'll be cold when you start out, but 10 minutes into your walk, you'll be heated up, and then let yourself kind of cool down again.
Before you put that on.
Before you put that on. You don't want to get hot and sweaty out there in the woods, because then you get cold and wet, and it sucks.
Mm-hmm. And you got to sit. You got to sit all day.
Yep.
Invest, if you're a big phone guy, get a portable charger. get a power bank, get all the, get lots of snacks. Like, you might as well overpack going in there,
Mm-hmm.
because we've killed more deer rifle hunting from 10:30 to 3 o'clock
Yeah.
than I think we've killed right away in the morning or at late evening.
Yeah, I've killed a lot of deer. A lot of the big bucks I've shot. I've shot from between 10 and 2.
Yeah, that 11 to 1.
I shot a ton of bucks around noon. Like one year, there was like 4 years in a row, I shot my buck right around noon.
Yeah, bring a roll of toilet paper.
If you're Jacob.
If you're me, maybe a thing of wet wipes, biodegradable.
I almost had to
Be
do
nice to
it
nature.
the other day when I was hunting. For those of you that don't know what a Jacob is, that's that when you're when you're bow hunting and you got to bail out, go downwind 100 yards and drop out a silent sentry.
Sometimes if you coordinate it right, you can actually drive the deer, funnel them in.
Yeah, it's like a deer drive.
But no, it just, and that's another thing. Maybe don't eat 3 bowls of chili the night before you go out.
Yeah, it's probably wise.
You know,
I mean, let's go through. Here's what I used to do. I would pack. I tried to make sure I ate something decent for breakfast. Number one, get up early, get something in your belly that's going to last you for a while. Then I would ration out my snacks to keep myself there all day long. 10 o'clock, I would have, a little Debbie of some form.
Maybe a handful of homemade trail mix.
Whatever, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich,
peanut butter cookie,
peanut butter cookies. So then you ration out like, okay, I'm going to eat this. We used to do our other rations, which is our, summer sausage, meat and cheese and crackers.
Yep.
Homemade Lunchables.
Yep.
But I would have that ration at 10 o'clock. Like, okay, I'm going to sit here till 10 o'clock and then I get to eat my Halloween candy. That's the other thing too. Halloween candy. Steal your kids' Halloween candy and
take the good stuff, and you tell them, oh, that one's really gross. You don't want it. Those Reese's peanut butter cups, those peanut M&Ms, those are gross. You don't want to eat those.
Those Almond Joys, yeah, you don't like almonds. Give those to me.
See, that was a thing that I really appreciated because I hated coconut as a kid, and you loved coconut. So every time I got a handful of Almond Joys, you're like, yep. And Milky Ways,
yep.
I wasn't a big Milky Way guy.
I am. You got to barter. You got a barter system.
You put it all on the table. And you pick and choose.
So you got your Halloween snacks in your pocket, essential, and then you got to have your lunch. Now, PB&J was my jam. No pun intended.
It's the go-to. It's the classic. I would say it's the goat of packed lunches.
I would say. Now, there's a right way to make this PB&J. You have to put peanut butter on both
sides.
Otherwise, it gets soggy. Okay? This is veteran move stuff here. Peanut butter on both sides. Then your jelly. Jacob, he buys this thick-ass artesian fancy
baker's bread.
Baker's bread that, it's like you're eating a loaf of bread that's got peanut butter and jelly in the middle. It's fantastic.
It's the best peanut butter jelly sandwich bread in the world.
Yep. I would agree. So, you got to have that. Or you can have a meat sandwich. Or you can go next level where these people will put like a beef stew in their thermos, or hot dish or spaghetti or something.
Listen to the old timers.
Keep it
the Stanley thermos.
Oh, dude. Every
coffee
trail I go to and I see one of those for $2, I buy.
Coffee, hot chocolate.
Coffee, hot chocolate. They would sit there all day long and they would drink them little cups of coffee. That's how they kill those deer. Keep yourself warm, keep yourself occupied, have good snacks.
If you know how to read, get a book.
Yeah, we don't.
Find a mobile game on your phone like Wooduku.
Screw you, Ku is what it's called. F-U, Ku, from the Japanese to us. Thank you for that game.
Get so angry.
Oh, is this the piece you need? If those of you who haven't played it, it's a lot like Tetris, but yet you'll get pieces. It only gives you 3 pieces at a time, and none of them are the ones you need.
No.
That's why it's called FU2.
But no, you got to find time to kill time because you have to be out there all day, sun up to sundown. If you need to stretch your legs, don't do it very far. Stand up.
So here's what you can do. So some people, they have a tough time, and I'm one of them because I'm antsy. I'm like, God, I've been sitting here forever. I'm not seeing nothing. Well, like when I killed the one big buck, I had a spot that I sat to. I had a morning spot where I thought, okay, I'm going to catch these things coming through the swamp. I would sit there till about 11 o'clock. and then I would slowly hunt over to this other area for the evening, and I would walk to a different spot. That helped me stay out there all day. I mean, I was in the woods all day. I was covering ground. Now that kind of goes against what we just said at the beginning. And I got a lot of buddies that would be like, no, you got to stay in that one spot. Shout out Sisler. I mean, he would sit there in that one spot for 10 days, and then eventually a buck would come by and he'd get it. But he's half crazy too, so he knows.
No, it's and also don't, there's a time in the rut to rattle. There's a time to grunt. There's a time to do those things, and I think people kind of get those confused. They'll be doing them all day long. I've only had success rattling in or grunt calling in bucks in the early morning.
I usually like to wait about an hour after sun comes up. I don't see anything to do, a little bit of grunting.
Yeah, say it gets, shooting time 7, around 8 o'clock.
Go ahead.
I say shooting time 7, around 8 o'clock. You can throw off a rattle here and there, but you don't want to overdo it, because then I think if you overdo it, they're gonna be like, "Geez, there's some monsters over there just fighting like crazy." I'm not getting in that.
Yeah, and it's not successful where you have high doe to buck ratio. So like northern Minnesota, where you got a ton of does, it isn't gonna work. Bucks don't have to fight, at all. So
no, it's better to hang your little doe estrus sticks and.
Well, you want to be. I would rather be a quiet killer that they don't know I'm there. They have no idea I'm there. That's been by far the most successful. Rifle, you can see a ways, so set up so you can see 100 yards or better. I mean, sometimes in the woods, you can only see 50 yards, but either way, try, like Jacob said at the beginning of this, try to get up, if you can sit up on a hill with some elevation that you can overlook some areas. Sometimes you have to get up in a tree high enough you can see over top of the willows, down into them. Do what you got to do to see, but use that long range to your advantage. Don't sit right up on top of where you think the deer are going to be. You can sit back a ways, and
you can. I mean, so when we had our private property, when we were setting up our farm, we would have the spots where we'd bow hunt. We would rifle hunt 100 yards away from them. I had a bow stand 150 yards down in the food plot in the central hub, and I shot like 4 deer out of that one spot. But you're back away because you can be and if you're, and that's another thing, if you're hunting private land, you're making your farm and you want to do it like if you're making bow spots, but make your rifle lanes, because the deer are going to be cruising. You can catch them in those lanes, but you don't want to be, it's kind of weird now, you don't want to be too wide open, but it's a weird balance.
Yeah, you need to be hidden. I see a lot of people that they stick out way too much when they're rifle hunting.
Because they think, I
got a rifle, it don't matter. No, it matters.
It matters.
Here, they'll see. They know what that landscape, they're out there every day. They know what that landscape looks like, and all of a sudden they see something that doesn't, hey, that bump wasn't here yesterday.
And even if you have, a permanent stand that you built, if you're wearing, they see it every day. If you also, they see if you're in there, it's okay to take your vest off. I mean, yes, wear your orange hat at all times.
You can't take your vest off, Jacob. It's against the law.
Well, if you're in a permanent blind.
Unless you're in South Dakota, you can only have an orange hat. Minnesota, you always keep your vest on. We always kept our vest on. We never took it off when we were
we had the camo orange,
which is legal in that state. Some states it's not legal. Make sure you check your rules of what's legal and what's not. A lot of people have too big of windows. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going, Jacob. You got to have curtains. Don't be sitting there in front of a picture window with your blaze orange on. The deer are going to see you. They'll come out and they'll look. They've learned to look up into those things to see if people are there.
Yep. Don't stick your head out the window.
Right. A lot of properties, they'll avoid those box blinds. So then you should be setting up for the trails that they're trying to get around you.
And I think it's important with rifle hunting too, is if you're, whatever you're in, you need a way to anchor your shot. Freehanding it is.
Sure. You need a good rest. That's what you're trying to do.
You need good rest. Yeah.
Bring a tripod, set up in there. Some people have like a little bean bag that goes over the window, shoot on. You need to have a solid rest. You don't want to be trying to offhand a shot out a window with a running deer or a standing deer. You're going to miss.
And also, I think it's sometimes in rifle hunting, you have 2 seconds to get a shot off, but I feel like same thing in bow hunting. You have a little more time than you think.
A lot more time.
And bury that crosshair into the shoulder. Don't try and make a lung shot.
I'll be looking at the horns. Yeah, shoot
I'm
them right
looking.
through the front shoulders. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
there's
Why?
not a whole lot of meat in there, anyways.
And they're not running if you take out both front shoulders.
Yeah. I don't even like. I aim two different spots when I'm bow hunting versus when I'm rifle hunting. Rifle hunting, I have a Nikon. That scope, this 30-06 of mine hasn't moved. It's been dead on for 10 years.
Yep.
And this Nikon sight, I bury that crosshair just in its shoulder, and you put the whack on their shoulder. You break that front shoulder. They're not going far. There's the thumbnail. Yeah, put it on the shoulder. They're not gonna go far. See that deer. That deer's always, I think it's underestimated as one of your top deer because it's got some funkiness going on. The double brow tines.
Yep. You busted
Got that
off.
one weird point coming through the middle.
You busted off some more.
Yeah.
Side.
That's going to be the thumbnail with the deer. But no, bury that thing in the shoulder. Take your time. Make a good shot. Squeeze the trigger. I've missed plenty of deer in my life rifle hunting, and you think, oh, it's, I can just bury it in there and it'll be fine. You'll miss if you close your eyes, and it happens to the best of us.
Yeah,
You get all hyped up on it's rifle season. It's exciting. The bucks are flying around. And if you see one dart across, don't try and make a running shot. They'll probably come back around. Be patient. Now, what are some, I would say, maybe like helpful hints or tactics you could do to get those deer into you?
Well, we're gonna. I say one thing before I say that. Make sure you sight your rifle in, and don't sight it in at 5 o'clock the night before season when the rest of us are out there trying to bow hunt our last evening before the rifle season. You morons.
Every time.
It's every time, and it's twilight as well.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing? Get out there, go shoot your gun during the day. Preferably like 2 or 3 weeks before the season starts would be great.
Yeah.
Go at noon.
And don't put your target up at the woods you're about to go hunt.
Yeah, all the time. Oh, let's just sight in our rifle right by the woods where we're going to be hunting.
I mean, it's like bow season. Don't take your bow to the bow shop 3 days before opener.
Right?
No, just
Exactly.
every time. There's countless times I've had deer in a field, and all of a sudden you hear the farmer next to you, and all the deer are like, oh no.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're trying to bow hunt the last 3 or 4 days before the rifle season, and everybody decides at 5 o'clock they should go shoot 2 boxes of shells.
Yeah, nothing. You don't need 4 boxes of sight in your rifle.
No. If you do, you should have went and had it bore sighted first. Start out close. Start at 25 yards. Make sure you're hitting paper. And then you can look up ballistic charts of your bullet and figure out you don't need it. You can shoot at 50 yards and sight your rifle in all the way out to 500 yards. All you
We
need,
do it every year.
For my 300 short mag, it's half-inch high at 50, and then it's dead on at 200, and then it drops like 37 inches at 500 yards. So learn your ballistic data. A lot of times it's on the box of ammunition that you buy, right on the edge. It'll show you the ballistic chart of where you're sighted. Inch and a half high at 100 yards with most guns puts you dead on at 200, 4 inches low at 300, maybe a couple. You're good to go. So a lot of times, you're shooting 200 yards and in anyway. So if you're inch high at 100, you're usually pretty good.
And if you're a bow hunter and you're hunting hard all season long, you'll get a deer at 25 yards with your rifle, because that's just how it works. You'll have a deer out 120 all bow season long, and then rifle season comes. You put that bow down, you pick up your rifle. They'll be in bow range all day long.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems how it is. Same thing with like turkeys. As soon as you pick up that bow, they just don't like to come in.
Yep, that's a fact.
And I think a lot of people don't think about this as well, but what are your thoughts on scent control while rifle hunting?
Well, I always tried to play the wind when rifle hunting. So I didn't worry as much about scent control because I was setting up I'm like, well, okay, if it's a west wind, I should hunt this area. If it's an east wind, I'll hunt this area. I didn't worry about it as much, but I did worry about it a little. I mean, it helps. Don't get me wrong.
If one company out there wants to sponsor us, I would hope and pray to the people at Nose Jammer. We are your number one fans and biggest users and believers of your product.
It works.
Nose Jammer, I'm going to shout you out right now. Tag us.
Well, here's the
sponsor us. We need you.
The scent stuff that works, okay? The Scent Shield laundry detergent, that works. Yes,
It
I know.
works.
There's people that say, well, you can just go buy the unscented Tide and use that. It's the same thing. It doesn't seem to be. I tried that one year and I never been busted so much in my life. I don't know if something
You
was
know,
wrong. It was a one-off, whatever. But I'm like, no,
I think
that
people
again.
get confused because it smells like when you use the scent, detergent, it smells like nothing, and you're like,
You know,
people get kind of like confused, like it just smell like something, but no, nothing's. But nothing's. That's what it's trying to do.
it should smell like nothing. So I like the Dead Downwind laundry detergent. Um,
Don't use a dryer sheet.
I like their deodorant. Don't use a dryer sheet. I hang my clothes out to dry when they're done.
Yep,
I like scent killer spray. And
that's a good one.
people use that wrong. You're supposed to lay out your clothes, spray them down, let them dry, and then it makes like a barrier on your clothes to not let scent out. That's how it works. It
Yeah.
doesn't kill the scent like people think it does.
No, it like weighs it down so it doesn't go as far.
Well, it seals it in. Ozonics work. Trust me, I've killed many deer on the wrong wind using Ozonics. You guys can sponsor us as well. And of course, Nose Jammer. Now up north,
Yeah, be a little careful because nose jammer smells like confetti cake,
it smells like confetti cake or vanilla. It
birthday cake, or
even says on there not to use in areas where you have bears.
it smells delicious.
Yeah, it smells good.
But
So,
I've had deer, and also I will say it's a very interesting thing, and it works. But the deer do smell it, but they don't seem to care, and they always like stop, and they're not alerted, they're not freaked out, they're pretty calm. They smell it, and they just kind of stop and just look around, and they go,
yeah,
delicious scent in the air, and keep going.
scent. So make sure you sight in your rifle. Tips for setting up. I like to set up on, you got to find areas that look bucky, as I would call it. Like if you're willows, CRP, woods, on the edge
You
of the swamps. If you
go
got
a little.
right, you got good food plots that the deer are hitting right now. Edge of cornfields, as if there's corn out there still. I mean, you got deer are a slave to their stomachs, so they're still trying to find food, but the does this time of year are hiding out because they don't want every single buck there is chasing them. So they're going
You
to
know,
be in the thickest, nastiest cover that they can find.
and that's I think also why that noon time works because the does will be out in the morning. They'll be trying to get a quick bite in, but then they'll go hide out,
Yep,
and the bucks will be searching for them.
100% why. The bucks, they'll put those does to bed. If they're done breeding the one they were with, they'll get up and they'll go look for another one, and that's when you'll catch them in that 10 to 2 time, out cruising. So I mean that does work very well. So I mean that's what I would try to do: set up on the edges of thick cover, set up a morning and evening to try to catch a doe going out to feed. I shot one big buck that way that the doe come out to feed. She drug the buck with her. He didn't want to come all the way out into the alfalfa field. He kind of stood in the edge of the woods and was making a scrape and rubbing trees because he was frustrated that doe wasn't, quite ready to go yet.
And that's another thing that I think a lot of people don't. When you see a doe cut across a shooting lane or something, get ready because there's usually a buck right behind them, and it may not be the buck you're after, but get ready.
Yep.
Every time you see a doe,
Yep.
be alert and ready, especially if you're going for bucks. It's just grab your gun, get set, because you might get that one, 3-second shot of a buck standing there in the open.
Yep. He's gonna
on
be
the edge.
He'll be coming, and sometimes they're 20, 30 minutes behind. So I mean, don't just because he's not right there, don't get
Yeah. Don't set your stuff down and
No, you see a hot doe coming through, you gotta be ready. No, I think if you do all those things, you're patient, you set up on a good area, try to sit, get out somewhere where you can sit all day. If you gotta move between morning and evening stands, that's all right. But yeah, and then like we talked about before, you gotta hunt your hunt, right? Don't be worrying about what are my buddies gonna think of how this buck is,
this little 6-pointer or 8-pointer steps out or
yeah, I don't like it when people shoot little bucks, but because I'm like, well, just shoot a doe or
yeah.
let that little buck grow up. But at the same
I would
time,
recommend shooting a mutant spike or something that something that looks wrong, or shoot a nice giant doe.
yeah, I like to hold out for a big buck, and sometimes it's painful, like it is now when you haven't seen one and you don't get a deer and you've only gotten a couple shots.
Well, you've had, some years where you were tagged out by October 1st.
Those are the years I like.
And that's just, I think that's hunting, is that you never know what that next fall is going to be like. And, now you're coming into rifle season and I haven't tagged one yet.
No.
But you gotta, not give up.
Yeah, I've had one encounter with one big shooter buck that I should have had, and the rest I've just had encounters with a bunch of little bucks that, they're starting to look good to me. But I need deer meat at the same time, so it's kind of
Yeah.
one of those things.
No, it's rifle hunting's a fun time of year, but be safe.
Be safe. Hunt your hunt. A lot of you guys are only being able to get away for one weekend out of the year. If that deer gets you excited, like Jacob says, let it have it.
Yeah. And
It's about hunting together, being with your friends, your family.
yeah, gun safety is really important. When you're climbing that tree, unload your rifle.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just there's,
Yeah, be smart.
You're not going to shoot one while you're climbing.
No deer is worth a person's life. So
no.
Make sure you're wearing your safety harness. Make sure your gun safety. Don't let the rut make you crazy.
Yeah, no, it's hard to, it's hard, sometimes you get all hyped up and you kind of forget. And when you're packing up at night, you just throw your gun over your shoulder and climb down, unload it. It takes 2 seconds. Be safe.
There you go. Fill that freezer.
Yeah. Make sure there's no one behind the deer you're shooting.
Exactly.
If you're doing deer drives.
Line of sight is very important. So
I just think people kind of forget. And then if you're out in the Dakotas, if a deer's up on a hill skylined, maybe wait.
Yeah, don't shoot that because there could be something over the hill. Yeah, remember your gun safety rules.
But no, be safe, have fun, enjoy the rut, spend time with your friends and family, and
safe hunt.
But is there anything last you want to say to all the rifle hunters out there before the Orange Army gets out?
I wish you luck and be safe. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Are you gonna go hunting today?
Yes, I am. I'm gonna go about 1:00. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go into this area that, let's see, which way is the wind from?
Well, while he figures that out. Peace out. Like and subscribe. Sponsor us, all you great products out there. Be safe. Enjoy your hunt. Fill that freezer, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.